Okay, now we're going to move on and talk about some equations. All right, so we need to start with the basics. What is the point of solving an equation? What's the goal? To find the x. We're looking for x. All right, we need to get the x by itself. Now, our math vocabulary for that is called isolating the variable. We need to isolate the variable, get x by itself. Now, in order to get the x by itself, the idea here is I need to get rid of everything that's around the x. So what is around the x right now? The 4. And how would I get rid of a 4? Minus 4. That is doing the opposite to get rid of it. And our math vocabulary for that is called inverse operations. Inverse operations. So we minus 4 both sides. So x equals 13. Any questions here? All right. That was a simple one-step equation. You probably will not see any that are this easy. Okay, so moving on. What kind of equation is this? This is a two-step equation, so we're moving on. Now, what's with the x that I need to get rid of?
11.
And 9. Both of them are on the same side. So which one do I do first? The 9 is first, okay? Because here in a little bit, we're going to divide the 11, and the division always goes at the end. So, negative 9, we're going to do plus 9. Plus 9 equals 44. And now divide by 11, and it's 4. All right, you think you can handle that?
Yes.
Okay, because that's the basics right there. The whole point is to get to a two-step equation and then solve it from there. Because the eighth grade skills are the multi-step equations. All right, so we have 3 different types of multi-step equations. We have distributive property, combining like terms, and variables on both sides. And the goal for all 3 of those is going to be to get to a two-step equation. Good? All right, let's go over each one. First, combining like terms. What's the first thing we notice about this question? There are 2 x's. That is correct. We have an x here. We have an x here. This should be a trigger. In our minds, we should be like, oh, I see more than one x. I'm going to have to combine like terms. So, is this going to be 3x plus 5x or 3x minus 5x? Minus. Very good. I'm glad you all remember that. This sign always goes with that number that it's with. So 3x minus 5x is negative 2x. And 4 plus 2, these are also like terms, 6. And now we have a two-step equation. And that's the goal, okay? Everybody good with that?
Yeah.
All right, so from here it would be easy. We would minus 6. Here's a question. When I divide, do I divide by a positive 2 or a negative 2?
Negative 2.
Y'all agree with negative 2? Y'all think it's negative? I heard both. Who thinks negative? Who thinks positive? You got to vote. One or the other. Everybody has to vote. Get an answer. Who thinks negative? Who thinks positive? Oh, some of y'all still didn't vote. All right. You have to divide it by a negative because a negative divided by a negative cancels that out to a positive. All right. All right. So x equals negative 3. Any questions? That is combining like terms. Moving on.
Are you recording?
I am. Distributive property. All right. So on this one, what jumps out at us this time? Parentheses. So if we see the parentheses, that should be another trigger. I'm going to do distributive property here. Okay. Eyeballs, please. So I see parentheses. I know I need to get rid of those. I'm going to do distributive property. How do you do distributive property? You give it to both and you multiply both. So 4 times 2x and 4 times 9. 4 times 2x is 8x, and 4 times 9 is 36. All right, so here's my next question. Is it plus or minus 36?
Plus.
That's correct. Why is it plus? Because this, no, that's wrong. Why is it plus? I mean, you're sort of right, but that's not the answer I'm looking for. Huh? Because it's positive. Because it's a positive 36. Now, here's why it's important. Y'all look. Y'all pay attention to this. If this was a negative 4 right here, negative 4 times the 9 would have been a negative 36. And if you would have just brought this plus sign down, you'd have missed it. It'd have been over right there. Okay? This is a positive 36, so therefore, I'm going to make this plus 36. Good? Okay. Now, this comes down. That comes down. Is this a two-step equation yet?
No.
Nope. So what do I need to do next?
Add the 8 plus 36.
Nope. This has an X, this doesn't. That won't work.
36.
That's correct. These two are like terms because neither one have an X. So we can combine these two. So 36 minus 25 equals what?
11.
Okay, 11.
Bring the
8x down,
plus b.
plus or minus 11.
Plus.
Why?
Because they're both positive.
36 is bigger.
Because it's positive 11. Again, if you start thinking, oh, I just need to bring down a subtraction sign, you already missed it. Okay? That's a positive 11, so therefore this is a plus 11. And now we have a two-step equation.
16.
Minus 11, you're correct. That is 16 over here. And now, divide.
2.
X equals 2. That is distributive property. I'm sorry? What am I pausing it?
What are you posting it on?
Posting it? Nearpod. It'll be on Nearpod by tomorrow. Yep. This one will be a little bit longer. That's fine. All right, and then the last type of multi-step equation is variables on both sides. Variables on both sides. So what is the first thing that we see here? What jumps out at this question? We've got more than one x. All right, now listen. Do not get this mixed up with combining like terms. If just because you see two x's doesn't mean we're automatically going to put them together. If this was a combining like terms question, the x's would both be on the same side right here together. All right? Make sure you see the difference there. Because if you do 4x plus x and get 5x, you've already missed the question. You might as well not finish it. All right? Okay, here we go. So we've got x's on both sides. What can we do about that?
We
gotta get rid of one. We got to get rid of one. And we can choose. We can either minus the 4x or we can minus this x. It doesn't matter. I like to do it to where it keeps it positive. So if we minus the x, then what's going to happen over here is this is going to stay positive. So 4x minus x is 3x. Bring this stuff down. And now what kind of a question do we have? That's a two-step equation. All right? Now keep in mind, here, let me get this real quick. Keep in mind that this would be last, okay? If you have a question that's got more than one of those multi-steps in it, like if it has distributive property and variables on both sides, you want to cancel stuff out like this last. Okay? Good? It would be parentheses first, so distributive property would be first. Then you could combine your like terms. And last, then you would want to start canceling stuff out and moving them around. Good? Okay. I am now going to give you guys a question. You can do the question on a separate piece of paper. You can do it in the back of your journal. I don't care where you do it at. But this would be your question. Go ahead and solve this equation.